Who says salads are just for summer? You can also turn those fresh greens into cozy fall comfort foods. Here to show us how and share a kale recipe from her latest cookbook is Greta Podleski, the author of Every Salad Ever. Good morning, Greta. It's nice to see you.
Good morning. Nice to see you too. And you're right, salads aren't just for summer. I
So
mean, we just kind of think of them differently in the fall and use different ingredients. In the summertime, it's more about, those leafy greens and lettuces you might have even grown in your garden and fresh tomatoes and cucumbers. And then when the cozy sweater weather comes, we just switch to heartier greens like kale, things like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts, pumpkin seeds, cranberries, that type of a salad. And you mentioned kale, and I'm sure a lot of people right away are like, oh, I don't like kale. So it's my job to change your mind.
and this is one of your most famous recipes too. So let's talk about getting that flavor into the kale. And you have a tip for this that people need to do.
They absolutely must massage their kale. So the very first thing that you do when you buy kale, and I'm just using, this is the standard green curly kale that every grocery store has. It's not a special type of kale. But the first thing that you have to do is remove that tough spine, the rib down the middle. So you just slice that away with your knife and then chop it up. But I describe kale as being kind of throat scratchy, right? It's not the most tender green. So you need to fix that by massaging it. So I chopped up all that kale, probably about 6 cups of packed chopped kale here. And now I take some of the salad dressing, which I'm going to go through a bit later, but I pre-made it so that I could put a few tablespoons on. It's a vinaigrette, and I'm going to use my hands and get in there and massage it. And what it's going to do to the kale is kind of the same thing that happens to you when you go for a massage. You know how you go in there and you're all like stiff and tight, and then you get a massage and you're like, ah, that's what the kale is going to do. Plus, you're working that dressing right into the leaves to give it flavor. So that's how you start.
I love this. Can you tell us about the dressing? Because you're all about the homemade salad dressings. Not only is that cheaper in the long run, it just tastes a million times better.
I think, I mean, I don't know if I have 40, 50 salad dressing recipes in my new cookbook, because let's face it, the dressing is everything. It's what people want in the salad. We're not eating salad without dressing. So this is an apple cider vinaigrette, which is perfect for fall and winter. Some people find apple cider vinegar slightly sharp, but you solve that problem by adding a little bit sweet to it. So this is a standard dressing that you should all learn how to make, and then you can vary your vinegar to change the flavor. So this is 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. Then I use 3 tablespoons of vinegar. This is apple cider vinegar. If you still wanted it to be clear like this, like not a dark balsamic, you could use white balsamic, white wine vinegar. This would be great with red wine vinegar. And then I use 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, which I put in all my dressings. And then 2 tablespoons of Dijon. That seems like a lot, but I'm also going to put in 2 tablespoons of maple syrup and a bit of salt and pepper. That's it. And it makes a beautiful, delicious dressing that doesn't just work for this kale salad, it works for any leafy green. And like I said, you change the vinegar, you change the flavor.
And we have an image too of the recipe that you are making today and of that salad dressing. Today you're putting together my famous kale slaw salad. Take us through it.
The reason it's famous is because every time I make this or take it somewhere, people want the recipe, and that's a sign of a good recipe. The photo really helps, the images in the book, so people can see what they want, what their end goal is with the recipe. I get a lot of compliments on the photography because people are like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to make there. So I've got the massaged kale, and then I just put in 2 cups of grated carrots and 2 cups of very finely shredded or thinly sliced red cabbage. This is actually a really beautiful, colorful salad. And then I've got some roasted salted pumpkin seeds, sweetened dried cranberries, a little bit of chopped green onion, like maybe 1 bunch. And then I actually have right here some chopped fresh parsley. It doesn't really matter whether you use black parsley or curly parsley, but the carrots and the red cabbage add so much color. And then I whisk together that dressing. And then this is, you can decide how much you want. You can maybe try half of it and see if that's enough dressing for you. And then the rest you're just going to put in the fridge. And like I said, use it for any leafy green. And the thing I love about kale salad and the reason it's great to take to parties or for gatherings is that kale doesn't go soggy. So you can make it ahead. And I actually find this kale salad tastes better when you do let it sit. So you make it, and then maybe if you're going to serve it right away, you would let it sit at room temperature for maybe half an hour. But you want to eat it tomorrow, then just wrap it up and stick it in the fridge and give it a good toss before you serve it.
Well,
So
I'm glad you said that, Greta, because guess what? I made it
oh,
last night.
oh, come on.
I did, and I let it sit overnight, and I was like, I'm not going to try it yet until I'm on the show.
Oh
So
my
this
gosh.
is like real time, and I massaged it too. I followed your tip.
Oh my gosh.
That was really good.
I think the dressing ties it all together, right? And it's the little bit of zip with a little bit of sweetness because kale is a little bit bitter. So in order to counteract that, we do need to add that little bit of maple syrup. Plus it's Canadian, right? It's maple syrup. Come on.
Oh my
And then
gosh, so
this
good.
other salad I have here, which you told me that you have my book, so you would know. This is another fall salad. So it's with roasted beets. You can use red beets, you can use golden beets, which I happen to love. People who don't like red beets should try golden beets, completely different flavor. So this is roasted beets, it's on mixed greens with feta cheese and caramelized pecans. So this is a beautiful one to add to any special gathering for sure. And this is with a regular balsamic, like the dark balsamic vinaigrette.
So delicious. We can have salads in the fall. Greta, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, and your lunch is ready too. Greta Podleski of Every Salad Ever. Your Morning Atlantic will wrap up the show right after this.